What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Game week 37 is a big week for us all to be playing our free hits or even just some of the key players that we should be looking to target. Today, I am on my free hit and I'm looking at who I should be picking in my team. In my first video of the week, my game week 37 transfer plans, I had a go at a first template draft for you all for how my team could look, and this is like it was going into the sort of first round of picks, how I thought I would line up going into game week 37 as a first guess. However, I've spent a little bit more time looking at the fixtures, looking at the players that I want to target. Do I want as many doublers? Do I want to cover my back for some of the singlers? So what we're going to do today is take a look at some of the single game week fixtures that we've got, some of the double game week fixtures that we've got, talk about them in a bit more detail, and then talk through my new updated template draft. So hopefully something for you all to take out, no matter whether you're on your free hit or not, because we'll talk about some of the teams that potentially look like they could be good investments for this week as well, whether you are on your free hit. So this is how it looked before I did my next round of tinkering. But in order to decide who I need to pick, let's get those fixtures up on screen. So here we have the fixtures for all 20 teams in the Premier League with their doubles or with their singles. So again, a reminder of who has a double game week. You've got Aston Villa, you've got Burnley, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester are the teams that have a double game week and then a blank game week in there for Manchester United. So all the top two boxes are where you'll find your double game weeks and then your single game weeks for some of the more highly owned assets like Liverpool, like Manchester City, like Tottenham fall into the bottom two boxes. Straight away, some of the doubles do look really nice. Aston Villa with Crystal Palace at home and Burnley at home was straight away where I thought potentially I want to go and invest. Burnley was a team that I didn't look at originally. Tottenham away, Aston Villa away is a difficult double. Two away fixtures, but we know Burnley are not very many fit defenders to go into these matches with. So potentially some of their attackers may have to find some form if they want any chance of staying up this season. Crystal Palace, two away fixtures in there again against Aston Villa and Everton. Two away fixtures, there's been a lot of rotation with the likes of Mateta, Edouard. A lot of us looking at Zaha going into this week, and I do really like him as a pick. Defensively, is it a bit more difficult? Because a lot of us will be picking the likes of, Aston Villa attackers in the likes of Ings and Watkins on our free hits. We'll be picking the likes of Richarlison and Gordon on our free hits. So should I be backing a Crystal Palace defender? Maybe not. Everton, a great double on paper again, and they are much better at home this season than they have been away from home. And then Leicester with a difficult double. Now, no Europe left for Leicester, which makes it a bit of a conundrum about what we should do with them, really, because on paper, they're a good side that should be investable, particularly with that Watford fixture, and Chelsea have not looked assured defensively. However, with the amount of rotation that we've seen recently, it's been hard to get behind them. Now, I think they're probably fine to invest if we know anyone's available. However, Maddison looks like he's not going to be back for both games. I wouldn't be sure that he starts both. So I find Leicester a very difficult investment, particularly up front. There are so many of them. In midfield, we don't know who's going to start both games. And then you look at the single game week fixtures that are competing with these doubles. So often we fall into the trap of highly owned players in singles that we drop for less highly owned and less reliable assets with a double game week. So you've got Arsenal there, Newcastle away. Newcastle will want to bounce back after that defeat to Manchester City. However, that defeat to Manchester City has shown that they are capable of conceding a lot of goals. Nketiah and Saka are two highly owned assets going into this double game week. They only have a single game week, but should we be owning them? Liverpool away at Southampton, Manchester City away at West Ham. Again, it could go down to goal difference on the last day of the season if Manchester City do lose one of their games. This is potentially one of the most difficult games left for Manchester City, including their away trip to Wolves in the second half of game week 36. I do think that these two teams will be wanting to push between now and the end of the season to try and maximise their chances of winning the league. The only thing with Liverpool is they do have the FA Cup final in the weekend before their game week 37 fixture as well. So potentially a little bit of rotation there. However, given that they are pushing Manchester City to the final day, I do think they will be a full strength team in there. Spurs, Burnley at home. Again, another one. Kane, Son, Kulusevski, Emerson Royale in defence, all assets that really could do well going into this fixture. Elsewhere that you could look at, Wolves at home to Norwich, but probably not going to invest in them over the likes of a double game week player. Brighton have looked really good, but they're playing Leeds away. Leeds fighting for survival, will have something to play for, so maybe not looking there. Elsewhere, Watford have an okay fixture at home to Leicester, but Leicester not in any European competition, so probably not investing there. So the teams that we're really looking at are Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester, Burnley, and then the single game weekers in the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Tottenham. Now, that's where I'm investing, but the debate lands, how many of those doubles versus singles should we have? Some people will tell you if you're chasing, go for 11 double game week players. And although I think that's probably a sensible idea, the issue with that is you'll end up having a lot of players playing against each other. So if we pull up my new free hit draft, we'll talk about this in a bit more detail about why I've gone with a bit of a balance between doublers and singlers in this Game Week 37 free hit. So my new Game Week 37 free hit looks like this. It has gone to a 3-5-2 formation from a 4-4-2. Pickford starts in goal. He's at home to Brentford and at home to Crystal Palace. Whether he keeps a clean sheet or not in either of these two games, I still think Pickford is the best goalkeeper to own in the double. 2 home fixtures. He's really pulling out all the stops to try and keep Everton in the league. He's made some great saves, some great performances in recent weeks, picking up bonus points, save points, clean sheet points. Definitely the goalkeeper I would go with. In defence, I've switched out Robertson and I've gone with Trent. So one of my single game week players we've got in here is Trent. I've gone with this as a bit more of a shield pick because Robertson versus Trent tends to be pretty close. Robertson has been slightly better going forward, but Trent is so highly owned. And given the rank that I'm at, I'm just going safer with Trent on this one. Luca Dean and Matty Cash complete my defence. 2 defenders that I would definitely want to own. My only concern is Dean has been injured a lot recently. So is he going to play both? Is he going to start both these home fixtures, or could Ashley Young get one of the games? I think it's definitely possible, especially with Liverpool as the second half of their Game Week 36 double. But I am going to take the risk that they both do start fighting for their place in the new look Aston Villa team once Steven Gerrard has another transfer window to go in and buy a few players. So they'll be wanting to prove themselves, and it is a great double again at home to Palace and at home to Burnley. Now in my midfield, Salah stays, Son stays, Zaha stays. Salah again, I'm not that sold on him. His form's not that great. If there is one of the Liverpool midfielders like Jota, like Diaz, that don't start in the FA Cup final that I think I could go with over Salah, potentially I would, because they've looked a lot better in recent weeks in terms of their goal scoring form. However, am I brave enough to go and bet against Salah in a game week where they are playing against Southampton, a team who look so far on the beach that they could concede 4 or 5 goals every single week, and it could be a great chance for Salah to finally clinch that golden boot that he is fighting Son off for. Son, Burnley at home, no debate there. Son versus Kane, Son is definitely in. Some of you may want to go with Kane as well, but Son is definitely nailed in my team. Zaha is an interesting one because he is the one who's playing against the defenders that I've gone with in Pickford, Cash and Luca Dean. But again, we've seen what he's capable of doing. He has scored in both of his past 2. Palace have not looked that great in front of goal recently. However, if there are goals, then I do think Zaha will be involved. So I am hedging my bets a little bit here with Zaha going up against both of my defensive options in Everton and in Aston Villa. Now next up, we've got Cornei. So originally I had no Burnley in here, but I have decided to go with Cornei. If he's fit, he's going to play every single game left in the season for Burnley. As I said, they've got a lot of injuries. Tarkowski, Ben Mee out injured. So they are going to have to find a few more goals if they are going to pick up points, because it looks like clean sheets are going to be more and more difficult to come by with these injuries. Tottenham and Villa are difficult, but there are teams that they can go and get at. They did beat Tottenham earlier in the season 1-0. Cornei again has looked really good, getting in behind, scoring goals for Burnley as well. Weghorst doesn't look quite at it at the moment. There is injuries as well to Vidra. There's injuries as well to Rodriguez. So a lot of the goal scoring potential is going to have to fall on Cornei. So he is in there and he would be my Burnley pick. He's a bit of a differential. You could go with Gordon in there. I've only got double Everton in this free hit, so you could go with Gordon. But I've gone with a bit of a differential with Cornei because I know Burnley are going to have to score some goals in these games. Now, another new signing for me on this free hit is Kevin De Bruyne away at West Ham. A game they're going to have to win. It could be a difficult game for them, but we saw what he's capable of doing as he pulled out a masterclass in Game Week 36 in the first game against Newcastle. Now, it wasn't that great from a sort of point scoring perspective. He only picked up 1 assist, but he did get bonus points in a 5-0 win despite having only 1 assist because of quite how well he played in that game. So De Bruyne with a single game week fixture. Again, I just want a piece of Manchester City. We know what they're capable of doing against absolutely any team in the league. It is only a single. It is against a West Ham team who might still have to fight for their league position to try and get into Europe next season, but Kevin De Bruyne has looked absolutely fantastic. Again, if I think I can predict Foden or Mahrez potentially starting, or even Jesus, I could go with one of them over De Bruyne if I wanted to free up a little bit of money. But for the time being, De Bruyne and the performance he put in Newcastle has convinced me to put him in my free hit. Now up front, we've got Richarlison and Watkins. At the moment, they stay. There is part of me who wants to go for Danny Ings over Watkins. If I knew that Danny Ings was going to play twice, then potentially I would. But as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm just not convinced that he's going to start both of those games, given the tiring legs. However, Ings will likely be on penalties if he does start, which would sway it in his favour. But again, it's just that minutes worry. Richarlison is up front, again, with him better at home than he has been away from home. Hopefully he doesn't get a suspension or a ban for throwing any more flares between now and the end of the season. It's a good double, but I only have double Everton in here, so that is a bit of a change. I could go for the likes of Gordon, Mikalenko in my defence, but at the moment, this is how my free hit is lining up, and hopefully a template you could use. Most of you will be able to afford this pretty easily. Nketiah first sub with a single against Newcastle. Then we've got Mitchell with a double of Aston Villa and Everton to get that Palace defensive cover if he does need to come in. That's my thoughts for my current Game Week 37 free hit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. There will be more videos between now and the end of the week as I finalise my selection and what I think you should be doing on your free hit. My captain for this team is currently going to be on Wilf Zaha or Richarlison. I am going to go with a double Game Week player. I know a lot of people will tell you double Game Week players are traps. Just go for Salah, go for De Bruyne. For me, it will be on a double Game Week player. With only 2 weeks left this season, I've got to take a gamble when it proposes itself like it is this week. So that's where I am at the moment. Thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are chasing 18k subscribers between now and the end of the season. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.